I'm Lady Teaspoon and welcome to Summer Zeros and Heroes. So we are well into autumn, so I figure now will be like a good time to go through over like the summer things. But none of these are summer themed, so it doesn't really matter that much. Let's get the bad ones out of the way. So I know this movie came out like a while ago, but I haven't talked about it before. So Batman vs Superman. Like, I didn't hate the movie, but it was weird. I think that is the best way to describe it. There were parts that I liked. I surprisingly felt like the Batman was well written and Ben Affleck did a great job acting. I loved Alfred. I loved seeing Lois's and Clark's relationship. I know that a lot of people kind of didn't like those parts of the movie, but I kind of like to see them together, and I liked the interactions that they had. However, it just felt like it was trying too hard to be like gritty and dark and serious. And we are talking about dudes that fly and have weird powers, and we are talking about dude that dresses up as a bat. And yes, there can be like serious themes and stuff, and like I'm not saying that we have to go back to like the sitcom Batman who was throwing like jokes every 5 seconds or something. No, but like I loved Batman the animated series, and it has such a good balance of serious and like funny things, and it worked so well. So it's kind of sad to see that DC wants to try so hard to fight against like the funny things and like the jokes, and like I think like the animated movies still have like a good balance, but as far as the like action films go, they just try too hard to be like gritty and dark and serious, and they have like these weird dream sequences, and it felt a bit weird and it didn't feel balanced, which is sad because I didn't like Man of Steel, so I was really excited to see kind of what the Man of Steel version Superman will be like in this movie, and maybe this movie will be like better and we will get to know his character a bit more, but it just kind of fell flat. However, I did like Wonder Woman a lot. I know she only had like a very short cameo, and a lot of people think that it was like too much, like why don't you just make it about Batman and Superman. But I think the cameo worked, and she didn't kind of like take up space that much. Like the parts that she was in worked really well, and I'm so excited for the Wonder Woman movie. Like I'm so looking forward to that. Moving on to the heroes. This is Raspberry Miracle Eyeliner, and I got this a while ago and I tried it out and I didn't like it. The tip is quite fine and it was really easy to use, and you could kind of have like a super fine line, so that was nice. But the consistency was kind of super sticky. Like even if I let it dry completely, it still stuck to my my upper lid, and it just, yeah, like you couldn't do like a line that was a bit thicker because it just wouldn't work. So I didn't use it for a while, and then I kind of stumbled on it. I was like, well, I really feel like doing like a cat eye, so maybe I'll just try it out. And I don't know what had happened, but suddenly the stickiness was gone. So maybe you need to like put it on your arm a little bit and it takes like the stickiness away or something. Like I don't know what happened, but so yeah, like I did like I did like a cat eye, and it was like a bit thicker, like it wasn't super thin, but it still didn't stick anywhere and it stayed on really well. So I have no idea kind of what happened, but I ended up loving this. So if you see this one around, maybe give it a go. It wasn't that expensive either. So yeah. And also sometimes eyeliners like this that have like the felt tip have a problem with drying out, but so far this is like completely fine, no drying at all. Next up, a handy tool to clean out your brushes. So this was €5 from Geeks, and it's for cleaning out your brush. So you can use this side to pick up the hairs, or this side depending on kind of are they like clumped up and how far like the spikes of the brush are and stuff. So I just bought this kind of on a whim, like hey, this looks nice and it's not that expensive, so why not give it a go. And it has just made cleaning brushes so much easier, because in the past you kind of had to pick them up, like the hairs and stuff, and it's not fun. But this, you just like swoop, and you have like all the hairs in here, and then you take them out and throw them away, and it takes like 2 seconds. So definitely, like, I recommend this. And then some TV show recommendations. So Netflix has been like on point lately. The Get Down and Stranger Things are superb. If you haven't seen those, just go and watch them. I haven't finished The Get Down yet, but I have seen the first season of Stranger Things, and I'm so excited for season 2. The Get Down happens in the 70s, and it's about the birth of hip hop and how hip hop and disco mixed, and it's about like the bad neighborhoods and like gang violence and all that, and it's very well written. All the actors are really great, and overall like the music is great, and it just has like a very nice vibe. It has a very like good balance of seriousness and sadness and like funny things and jokes. It's funny and sad and delightful and happy and heartbreaking all at the same time. It's a very nice mix of different emotions. So if you haven't already seen it, I definitely recommend checking it out. I'm not done with like the first season yet. I'm about halfway through, but like what I have seen, I have really liked, and I'm sure I will love the rest of the episodes too. Stranger Things is a supernatural horror mystery. So, and it happens in the 80s, and it has a lovely retro feel to it. So if you are kind of a fan of like the 80s, then definitely this show is for you. It's about a group of boys who are kind of like a bit nerdy, like they play D&D and all that, and one of them goes missing. And the other boys find a girl named 11. And it turns out that 11 has some weird powers. So with the help of 11, the boys are trying to figure out what happened to their friend and where their friend went. And also there are like other characters. So there's a police officer who's trying to figure out what's going on. And there's like this mysterious company, and the sister of one of the boys is kind of a bit of a badass, and she's trying to figure out what's going on because her friend also disappears, and she wants to figure out what happened to her. And also there's the family of the kid who went missing, and his brother who is kind of an outcast, and his mother, who are both very worried and trying to figure out kind of what happened, and they have different approaches to it. And also like his mother is kind of like she's divorced and they don't have that much money, so that brings like a new element to all this. And it's very well written, and all the actors are just amazing, like especially the child actors. Like this is like the best acting I have seen from child actors basically ever. They are all just amazing, and I hope that they all have like huge careers even after this, and I'm so looking forward to season 2 and seeing kind of where the mystery goes. I know that some people really think that it was like really scary and they couldn't watch it like late in the night. I personally didn't find it like super scary. It definitely did have a lot of scary elements and horror elements and all that, but personally I was more intrigued by like the characters and the story and the mystery, and less so of like the horror element. But definitely it's a good show, and I highly recommend that everyone watches it if you are like at all interested in like that type of stuff. Last but not least, a game recommendation. Life is Strange. This game came out like a while ago, I think, but I played through it during the summer, and I personally really liked it. So if you haven't already tried it out, I highly recommend giving it a go. All the chapters are out, and it's on Steam, and Steam has some great sales. So if you are kind of a bit iffy about it or something, then maybe look forward to a sale so you can get it for a bit cheaper. Life is Strange is about Max, who is an art student, and one day she figures out that she has a power. She can rewind time. And the game is very like story based. You make these decisions and it affects how the story goes and how different characters interact with you, and you can like rewind and make some choices again, and it's very interesting to see how the story goes and kind of what different choices you can make and how it affects the game and how things will go differently depending on what you do and all that. And I personally really liked all the characters and the story. I know that some people have some issues with the writing, and I do agree that sometimes kind of like the characters like they are teenagers and the writers are a bit older, so it kind of feels like the writers have kind of don't really know how teenagers talk, so the characters use a lot of slang that maybe is a bit outdated. But personally I wasn't that bothered by it, maybe because I have like a lot of mannerisms myself, and when I was a teenager I like said a lot of like ridiculous things, and I used a lot of like silly phrases because I thought that they made me like cooler and all that. So I kind of read it as maybe like the kids are trying to be cooler than what they really are, so they used like this weird slang. So I wasn't like super bothered by it, but definitely sometimes the slang is laid on a little thick, you know. But even with those issues, I think it's definitely a game worth playing, and there's a lot of replayability because you can make different choices and see how the game goes. So definitely highly recommend giving it a go. And they are, I think, thinking at least about doing like a second game with possibly different characters but similar game mechanics. So if that happens, I will definitely check out like the second game in the series, because I am interested what else they can kind of come up with. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, issues, you just need someone to talk to, please let me know down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!